before, there's an Arizona Beachbody Facebook page, and we met on there and realized that we actually live like 15 minutes apart from each other. And then we started doing workouts together, and yeah, it just went from there. So that was kind of cool. And she's been crushing it. When we met, she was in school getting her doctorate in nurse practitioner. Oh, I said that wrong. Nurse practitioner. How do you say it? Nurse practitioner. Doctorate in nurse practitioner? Nursing. Doctorate in nursing practice. I wanted to say. And now she is a nurse practitioner and still doing coaching, rocking it with the part-time hustle. So that's what she's going to talk about. And it's going to speak to a lot of you guys, because I know a ton of people on our team, they still work full-time, or you may work part-time, or you may be in school. So this is definitely going to speak to you guys. So listen up. And she currently is 2-star diamond. Her team hit premier in 2018. So she's a 2019 premier team, which is huge. I think there was only like 96 of them in the whole company. So it's a big deal. Her and Britt get to hang out as premier coaches. Whoop, whoop. So I'm going to pass it off to her, and yeah, get ready. Grab your pen and notebook to make sure that you take some notes, you guys.
All right, guys. I am so excited to be on this call. So just a little bit about me. Jen talked about accolades and all this other crazy stuff, which is great. And I'm so excited to be a part of the business and be here. But I'm going to take you guys back just a little bit so that you know who I am. So like she said, my name's Mariah. I have been a coach for 3 years. I signed up in December of 2015. And my life looked so different. So I was a bedside nurse, and I was just living paycheck to paycheck. I was so overwhelmed. I was a retired athlete, so I played collegiate volleyball, and I was just in a bad place, bad situation. And now that I'm no longer in that marriage, I can talk about it openly. I was actually in a very, very abusive, domestically violent marriage for all of 5 years. And I was going through all of that, and I just had lost myself, and I lost where I was, and I lost who I was. And Beachbody kind of just kept coming into my life. So my amazing coach, I always tell her, she not only changed my life, but she saved my life, Sarah Freed. She asked me to coach and coach and coach. And then I finally was like, okay, what is it going to take for me to finally say yes? Well, I'll never forget the day I said yes, because it was December 17th of 2015, and I was sitting in my closet, and I was holding my husband at the time's 9mm in my hand, and I had every intention on taking my life. And I will never forget, it was when my notifications were still dinging and going off like crazy on my phone, and I got a message, and it was from Sarah. And literally all she said was, hey, I hope you're having a really good day. I was thinking about you, and I just want you to know that I'm really excited for you when you want to get started. And right then and there, I realized that I mattered to somebody. I was important to somebody, and somebody cared enough about me. And just maybe if I took this chance, if I took this leap, I would decide to stand 6 feet above ground and not be 6 feet under. So ever since then, I just took off, and I ran with it, and I decided like my life was worth it, and my life mattered, and my mess is my message. And that's history. That's just kind of where I've been, and I haven't stopped since. And from that day, like Jen said, I was going to work full time. I was working Monday through Sunday. Yes, I said it right, Monday through Sunday. I was going to school. I was getting my doctorate. I was working really hard. And I just was like, man, like my dream has always been, since I was 16 years old, was to be a pediatrician, to take care of kids. Tiny humans are my jam. And I just wanted to do that. But I was tired of living paycheck to paycheck. I was tired of not having any money. And I was like, there is something to this side hustle. So just a little interactive, if you guys are here and if you guys are paying attention to me, I love it. Show of hands, who has $500 in their checking account right now? Be honest. There's no shame. We're totally true, and we're going to be honest. Okay, put your hands down. Who has $1,000 in their savings account? I love it. Who has $5,000 in their savings account? Love it. Who has $10,000 in their savings account? I love that. Now, next question. Who has life insurance? Who has a 401k? What is it called in Canada? I don't know what it's called in Canada. Something for your retirement. She's like whispering to me that it's not called that in Canada. Sorry. So for my Canadians, something for your retirement. Who has, it's called in the US, a 504 or some type of education for their children, like a college fund. Love it. Okay, so the reason why I asked this question is because when I decided to ask this question with my team, my heart literally dropped. I saw kind of the same thing that happened. The lower and lower hands kind of raised as we talked about more and more income. And what I said right then and there is that is not okay. That is not okay with me, because we as women, and I hope it's okay to say this, we are all badasses. And I want to say that over and over to you. You are a freaking badass. You are a woman, and you need to be proud of that. And you need to be able to know that you can stand on your own 2 feet and be able to just accelerate forward. And the moment I realized that was not the moment that I decided to continue doing this as coaching or do this part-time. It was when I realized that at 16 years old, I was put out and I was living homeless. And I was telling Jen this because I had talked to my team about it. And I remembered being 16, living in my car, going to college and eating top ramen out of a bag. I don't say that because I need a pity party. I say that because that was the moment that I decided that I was never, ever, ever to live like that. And then December 17th happened, and I realized I was living a paycheck to paycheck, and I wasn't living to my potential. And I realized that I was made for more. So that is why this business is so important to me, because I decided this business was going to be my part-time 6-figure income, 7-figure income side hustle. So if there's anybody on this call that really, really loves what they do like I do, I will never, ever, ever stop being a tiny human healer. That is what I'm passionate about. That is what God put me on this earth to be able to do. I will never leave my job. But one thing I realized is my job has a cap. No matter what, my job has a cap. I have a doctorate. You can't get any higher. But guess what? I'm also not going to be able to make a whole lot more money. And that's where this business comes in. And that's where you have to have the power of the part-time hustle, the power of the part-time coaching. You need to be able to know that this business has so many incredible opportunities for you to tap into. And when you are sitting there and you are able to just dive into that, your whole world is opened up. So I want you to know a couple of statistics. There are 11 million women right now who own a business, and you are one of them. That is freaking badass. That's 11 million women who are sitting there taking charge of their life right now and realizing that multiple streams of income is where it's at. So whether you have 1 job, 2 jobs, this is another business on the side, whatever the situation is, you are a freaking badass. And I'm going to continue to tell you that over and over and over again until you believe that. And then this is another statistic that I want you to get into your head. The average American spends at least 4 hours a day watching TV. That is 13 years of the average life that most people are spending watching television. So when people always give the excuse of, oh, I don't have time and it won't fit into my schedule and I'm going to school and I'm super busy and I'm a mom of, 18 kids, whatever the situation is, ask them how much Netflix they're watching. That's a real situation. You need to think about that. And then I was listening to Quote of the Day, and it was an amazing podcast by Connie Podesta. And she was talking about something that really shook me to my core. And I think it shook me because I was in a situation where I was married and then I got a divorce and then I was by myself. And I had to be able to know that I was going to stand on my own 2 feet. So for those of you who are single on this call or married or whatever, you have a significant other, I'm saying this, but I'm saying this out of love because I love your significant other, but I really don't care about them at this moment. In this very, very moment, I don't care about them. It's not about them. It's about you. I need you to understand that you can stand on your own 2 feet and that with this business, with the income that you're making, with the belief in what you're doing with this team and what you're doing to help other people, that you will always be able to have the confidence in standing on your own 2 feet. Because one thing that she talked about is you should never be in a situation where you need someone. because when you need someone, you're relying on them and you're in situations that aren't really happy. And I know for me, I was in a situation living paycheck to paycheck with my husband, and I stayed in that situation because I was so lost, and I was like, there's no way financially I could be able to take care of myself. And I realized that as an independent woman, again, goes back to, I know I'm a badass, that I can stand on my own 2 feet. And this is why, because I had Beachbody, that I know I was going to complete school and I was going to do all of those things. And I should never get into a situation where I need someone. You should just want someone in your life because you love them and that you care about them and you appreciate them. So all of your husbands, I love them. Don't really give a rat's butt about them. I really just want you to go and live your fullest potential and know that you can do anything you want on your own, and that this business gives you that opportunity. So if you are one of the coaches who are like, man, I really love my job and I don't want to leave, that's great. But I need you to focus in on this business. I need you to understand the compensation plan inside and out. I need you to understand that the very first thing that you need to do, because I know this is the Emerald call, the very first thing you need to do is sign up your significant other, sign up your spouse, hit Emerald so that you're starting to tap into those team cycle bonuses, because there's so much power in Emerald, and everybody is always like, oh, I'm trying to hit Diamond and I'm trying to hit this and I'm trying to hit that. Guys, start with the basics of being an Emerald and build from there. So I know everybody on this call is an Emerald, but you need to understand the potential and the beauty of being an Emerald coach, because you're tapping in to all of that volume of the team. And that's what makes this an incredible business. That's what is going to propel your business forward. And I'm so excited that you guys are on this call. I'm so excited that you guys are here listening to me. And I'm talking about being a part-time coach. But if you're also on this call and you're like, man, I really want to build this business and do it full-time, then guys, that's digging even deeper. That's just leveling up. I run this business part-time, and I work at maybe 1 hour to 2 hours a day, and I'm very consistent with my time. Now, if I look across the table, I see Virginia. Virginia gets to do this for 14 hours in a day. And there's nothing right or wrong about that. I know she's going to level up in her business. That's why our businesses are so different in the sense, and she's been doing it a lot longer, but she's going to have the time to spend 14 hours doing what she needs to do to make her business happen. And then for you guys who are coaches who are doing this part-time, don't compare yourself. Comparison is the thief of joy. Understand what you are capable of doing and take the time that you have and make it useful. So if you are like me and you work 8 hours, I want you to think about your day. Where can you put your power hour in the morning? Where can you put your power hour in the afternoon? Where can you put your power hour in your lunchtime? For me, especially when I was a nurse working 12 hours, I was waking up at 4 a.m., same thing I do every day, and I get a little bit of work done. I get ready for work. I get my workout in. I get ready for work. I go to work. I spend some time during lunch. I get home, even though I'm exhausted. I spend some more time on the business, and then I'm done. That is exactly what my day looks like. And now as a nurse practitioner, I get up at 4 a.m. I work my business. I get my workout in. I do my self-love and my personal development. I head to work, I come home, I work my business, and then I'm done. I do not feel bad about that. And the reason why I don't feel bad about that is because I gave myself a $10,000 raise this year. Another reason why I don't feel bad about that is I paid off over $40,000 in student loan debt with a side hustle, something that I love doing. I literally get to share my journey, talk about coaching. I get to work out, and I get to hang out with badass women like you on a random Tuesday night. That is incredible. And I want you guys to continue to share that. I want you guys to continue to talk about that. And regardless of if you're an Emerald coach and you're sitting there and you're like, Mariah, I got a $14 paycheck last week. That is $14 you didn't have yesterday. That is a big freaking deal, and you need to celebrate that. That is $14 that goes towards your electric bill that I know you're struggling to pay. That's $14 that goes towards you being able to pay for your babysitter. That's $14 that gives you time and resources to go get a pedicure. I don't care. I need you to celebrate that $14 and know and trust and believe in what Morgan is teaching and what Brittany is teaching and what Virginia is teaching, and trust and believe that they're going to put you in the places of trainings and mentorship, and they're going to lead you where you need to be. And I talk about this all the time with my team. I didn't hit Premier for me. I hit Premier to show them that it was possible. And I hit Premier showing them it was possible, working 40 plus hours a week and knowing that I was doing it part-time. And then this year when I hit Elite, I'm going to show them the same thing, that I'm going to continue to do this part-time. I'm going to continue to do this, and I'm going to continue to pave the way for them. So right now, I might not be in any of these downlines, and I don't care. But I'm cheering for every single one of you. I'm here supporting every single one of you. I'm here telling you that it is possible. All you have to do is trust and believe. And right, I know that kind of sounds like Shanti, and I did not mean that when it came out of my mouth. But I need you to trust and believe in this community. Trust and believe in this team. Trust and believe in this business. Guys, one thing, and I wasn't going to talk about this, but I'm going to share my heart right now. And forgive me if I start crying because I'm pregnant and that's what I blame it on. But one of my teammates, she just had a baby. She had a baby 8 weeks ago. And she lost her fiance 2 days ago. Her fiance was out on a snowmobile. They live in Iowa. And it flipped over, and he got caught under the ice, and he was found in the river. Baby is 8 weeks old. He's not gonna. She is so beautiful. Her name's Ellie. She is not gonna grow up with a dad. And the very first thing that I heard come out of Emily's mouth was, "I'm gonna dive into Beachbody. I'm gonna dive into our team." I knew that I can rely on my team. I posted in all of my team pages, and in a span of 4 hours, I've already had almost $1,000 for us to be able to send her. This community is so much bigger. This team, this ability, this coaching opportunity is so much bigger than anything else. So trust and know that this team is going to propel you forward and that you can do anything. And it's because of the part-time hustle. It's because of the ability that Beachbody gives us. So I know I went on kind of like a little tangent, and I was talking about so many different things. If anybody has any questions, they can drop it in the chat. But really, truly, I need you to just believe that you can make this business happen. And that right now, even though it seems hard and you're like, man, Mariah, hitting Success Club is hard. And being Emerald seemed hard, and I don't know where to start, and I don't know who to ask. I want you to think every single message matters, because you never know on the other side of that message who's holding a gun, who's ready to give up, who's ready to take their life. If Sarah wouldn't have sent that message, guys, I wouldn't be 6 feet above ground. I'd be 6 feet under. And that's something powerful, because now that I'm going to be a mom to this beautiful baby girl who is growing inside of me, it gives me chills, because if I would have made that decision, she wouldn't be here. If I would have made that decision, I wouldn't be sitting in my best friend's house having a call with you guys. Send the message. Don't hesitate. Don't question. Don't worry about what they're going to think about. Don't worry about what they're going to say. Just send the message from your heart that you are here to help them, that you want to work on their health and their happiness, and that you are there for them. So, Morgan, I see that you had a question. What would you do in a power hour? That's an awesome question. So what I do in a power hour is very simple. I really, really hone in, because it's like my hour is so precious. I literally just focus on sending at least 30 invites for me, and that's a big number. But I have 22,000 followers, so it's a little bit different. So focus on sending invites is the very, very first thing, because your business is moved forward by sending the invitation. And that's one of the biggest things. So I focus on my invites, I post on my Instagram story. I share with them. I invite them. I'm engaging with them on my stories. And then the next things that I do is it's very simple. On Instagram, you can flip it to unread. And then I'm just following up. I'm reading all my messages. I'm kind of going through. One of the other things that is a non-negotiable for me is I always, always, always check my back office. I go through. I'm sending emails to follow up with challengers. I'm sending emails to follow up with coaches. And then really, truly, I'm just going in and I used to follow different accounts. Now I have somebody working my business, but at the level where you guys are at when you're just first starting, going in and following hashtags and following different people and figuring out my tribe. And that's narrowing down my niche and knowing who I'm exactly looking for, and then focus on bringing them into my following network and who I'm watching and who I'm talking to and who I'm starting conversations with. And that's truly what a power hour is for me, and just really focusing on my invites and really focusing on the vital behaviors and really showcasing what I do.
Can you guys hear me? Okay, cool. Did that answer your guys' question? Any other questions? This is your time. Ask me anything. I'm here to help.
Britt said 1,000 times better.
1,000 times better, Britt. Got it.
It was all staticky on yours.
My question to you is, what are you doing as a busy full-time baby mama badass to elevate your business as this launches here? And what advice can you give to Emerald coaches and coaches who are working towards Emerald to lock in Success Club 5 this month, lock in Success Club 10, and create that big momentum shift going into Team Cup?
That's awesome.
That wasn't even a question. That was just a bunch of words. I got excited in so many things.
I love it. I think the biggest advice I have for that on momentum is believe that you're a leader before you even have anybody to lead. And that's the biggest thing. Because even as an Emerald coach, a lot of people are like, man, I don't have anybody to lead. You need to read Brene Brown's new book, Dare to Lead. It's amazing. And just believe that you are a leader before you even have anybody to lead. And that means showing up every single day consistently. I don't care what's going on in your life. I don't care if you don't feel like it. That is when you need to show up the most. You need to show up and be consistent day in and day out. Because what happens is when you show up and you're consistent, and then all of a sudden 4 days go by and nobody knows where you are, and they're like, what the heck happened to Mariah? And then you pop back up. That shows them inconsistency. So then they're going to look at Britt and they're like, Britt shows up every single day. She shows up for herself and she shows up for others. I'm going to go sign up with her instead of with you. You have to be consistent. You have to do the vital behaviors. You have to drink Shakeology. And don't even get me started on that. As a provider, it is the best thing in the world to be putting in your body. It has nothing to do with a cool shake that you get to hold up. It has everything to do with nutrients that you do not get in our soil because it's so crappy. You have to drink Shakeology. You have to talk about it. And you need to be doing a program. And I'm huge about doing a program start to finish. If you have never started and finished a freaking program, Transform 20 needs to be the first program that you do. And don't give me the excuse of time. It's 20 freaking minutes. That's how I feel about that. So being consistent, being a leader before there's anybody to lead, and the belief in other people. Guys, I literally just kept pouring and pouring. And my goal was not to start Premier. We definitely had the goal of elite, but we made Premier happen while I was in a hospital bed. I was in a hospital bed because I was admitted for preterm labor when I found out we hit Premier. But before I found out, I had still did my power hour in a hospital bed. So, and I'm not saying that to brag and boast. I'm telling that to you to inspire and empower you. You always have to show up in this business because this business is the golden ticket. It is the golden ticket to getting out of debt. It is the golden ticket to getting out of your financial situation. It is the golden ticket to get healthy and to get happy. I know that all these coaches, I know Jen can talk about it. I know Morgan can talk about it. I can know Britt, Marie, all of them can talk about the amazing opportunities this business has given you. But now you don't know me. You don't know me from Adam. And I'm here telling you, I would not be here if it wasn't for this business. So I need you to show up because there's somebody like me that needs you. Anything else? Any other questions? Ask away. Ask anything. I don't care. I'm an open book.
Okay, I know we're wrapping up right away, but I just had one question I think some people might be wondering. So just real quick, what would an example invite look like for you for a challenger and a coach?
So great question. For a challenger, it would just be like, hey sister, most of the time I'm following up after somebody has either liked my post or said something on my Instagram story or watching my Instagram story. And it's something that I've been like, oh, they're consistently watching. And if it's a challenge group, I'm like, hey sister, I'm so grateful that you're always watching my story. I appreciate the constant support. It really means the world to me. I just want to be here to inspire and empower other women. And I just really think that you would be an awesome fit for my new boot camp that I'm running. I would love to tell you more about it. That's a simple one for my challenge group. I'm literally making this up as I go, but it sounds similar to this. And then my one for coaching is mostly, especially after I'm doing like a coaching post or something that I talk about the coaching opportunity on my Instagram. And I'm like, sister, I appreciate the love and support, but I don't know why you're not doing this with me. You are so deserving and so worthy of a life completely by design. And I'm here to share with you an amazing opportunity to do just that. And that's usually what I say.
Yay, awesome. So it's 7:32, so that pretty much wraps up the Emerald call. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. 44 people. Next week, 50. So make sure to bring all of your Emerald coaches, tell all the Diamond coaches. And if you guys have any more questions for Mariah, just post them in our team page. I can forward them to her and get her answers. But thank you guys so much for hopping on. Before everyone hops off, smile for a picture. I'll post it in the team page. 1, 2, 3. Hold on, we gotta do 3. We have 3 pages. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it went back down to 2. Some people left. Okay, perfect. I got everyone. Thank you guys so much. Diamonds, make sure to stay on right now. We're gonna have a roundtable discussion type call. If you guys are Emerald, push for diamonds so you can stay on the diamond calls next week or next month. Awesome. Bye. Have a good night, everyone. Oh, now we're down to 1 page. Awesome.
I didn't even know Tracy was in the house. What up, Trace?
Oh, there she is.
What is up? I kind of got on just now because I was like, oh, it's 8:30. I'm going to jump on here while I drink my energize. So here I am, rocking out with you guys. What are we going to talk about tonight?
Well, for the diamond, we're just going to have like a roundtable kind of discussion. If you guys have any questions for Mariah type thing. She's under Trina Gray, so they do things definitely a little bit different than we do. They definitely do some cool things with like at Christmas, how she does that. And even like your Emerald group, you could talk about the what was it, Rainbow?
Rainbow Road.
Yeah, like that.
Rainbow Road for your emeralds? What?
That sounds like Mario Kart. Like there's that rainbow one. It was like the fancy like 20-minute one you got to play.
Yeah.
But tell me about it. I'm kind of intrigued.
That's awesome. So Rainbow Road was something that we kind of created and designed. So for the first 2 weeks, what we're doing is really focusing on our emeralds and just making emerald sexy again. And that's how we kind of talk about it. So we talk about how emerald is sexy and just really focusing on getting them to sign up their spouse and trusting and believing what we're saying when we say sign up your spouse for the potential income, and then finding another friend to sign up. And then they have those 2 weeks, but we also do what's called an emerald push. So what that means, it's a $10 drop-in fee, and we gather up the $10, and then the pot, I think our pot is up to like $650 or something like that. And
Wow.
for the coaches who hit emerald, they split the pot between each other. So that's like a good incentive to get them to push and to hit emerald. And it's open to any coach. So even if,
Okay, so then how long do you let this go on for?
so for 2 weeks. So on tomorrow night, that's when we're going to shut it down. And then we're going to be like, hey, who hit emerald? And everybody's going to check their back office, verify that everybody hit emerald. And then that's when we're going to split the pot between everybody.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And then the following 2 weeks, then we focus on Ruby and then get them to hit Ruby in the same kind of situation. And then we're posting videos and talking about how Ruby is sexy. And nobody really this. It was like they were Ruby for 10 seconds. And then next 2 weeks, we're talking about diamond. And the last time we did a diamond push group, I think all of our downlines, I think there was 8 or 9 diamonds that advanced. So that was really see.
Wow.
Yeah. And I know that Jen was talking about us doing things a little bit different under Trina and just kind of the way that we do stuff. But it really, truly, like, anybody has any questions, just round tabling and just bouncing ideas off of each other. Like, that's awesome. So whatever. I'm an open book.
I'm an open book too. That's why we get along.
I know.
I honestly think doing that pot thing for each individual team for your team cup, or like your guys' like downlines and stuff like that, that would be like a cool thing for team cup to get people to push. Like, hey, the first 2 weeks, who's rank advancing? Boom, you get part of that $10. Like, that's on top of their paycheck and rank advancement that they just got. But I don't know. I think I might just implement that into like our team, because that would be freaking cool. And then everyone's fired up. Because I mean, I like cash.
Like, who deals with the money?
So one person's in charge of the money. They collect all of it, and then obviously hold on to it. And then once it's split, we split it up between. And we just use either Venmo or Cash App. Sometimes we've used Facebook Messenger, but sometimes that's a little sketchy. So we try to use one of those apps.
But PayPal, I guess you could. Yeah, that would be fine. That's the only reason why I haven't dove into it, because I'm like, the money. Because I know Lindsay, that way. I don't know if I was ever in one. Yeah, I think they did one a while ago. Hey Morgan, but they had a huge one, so it was like a lot of money and a lot of work. I think it was Nikki's.
I feel like, didn't they get in trouble for it or something? Wasn't there some sort of like issue with the like money and the rank advancing? I feel like I remember reading something about that in one of the team pages.
I think technically the amount's supposed to stay below a certain amount, but I mean, even if we did it like our downline, I'm sure we would be fine. I just would not want to opt to be the person dealing with the money. If somebody wants that job, I am like, yes, let's go hard and do this.
I remember seeing in like the new Bombshell page, Kirsten, because yeah, that's where it was. And Bonnie clarified, because you couldn't say, hey, I'm going to give you $200 for hitting diamond, so we lock in 15 star or something like that. But Bonnie could word it that, hey, here's $200 towards your summit trip. And that was like acceptable because it comes in like a, I don't know, some kind of form. But yeah, we got to be like careful.
Not as like an incentive or something like that.
Yeah. Like a happy birthday.
I'll just be like, here's $200 if you go diamond. Just like, here's some money. Let's make it happen.
Can I be on your team?
Buy a necklace anyways, so just here's the money.
I think it's more so like someone had to have shared about it, like, woo, I hit diamond, my coach gave me $500 or something. Like somebody had to share about it, because otherwise they know. That's when it gets tricky, is when people are posting on social media and they like to use interesting wording. That's when it gets.
I had a coach on my team get like hounded by I guess compliance on a lot of her posts. They must have just been on like a tear, and they were like, oh, you said it paid for a manicure, you need to like have this, or you said that you did this and you said that you did this, and there was like 6 or 7 posts in a row. She's like, what are you doing? Like, who's like either ratting me out or someone has a name for me? But it ended up going away and not being an issue, but she did have to like make sure now she's like got compliance, like all the legal stuff at the bottom of every single post, even if it doesn't have like anything in it. It's just easier for her to copy and paste it.
Yeah, they did get more like strict on that, and I think they have somebody that like literally that's their full-time job, is to like go look at Beachbody posts to see if they have that compliance thing on there. No, I think I'd put it. I feel like with Instagram stories, it's like, are they gonna put it on every one? I don't. Probably just in case, very small at the bottom.
It disappears eventually anyways.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, so this last weekend, our Super Saturday was really good. Except for Ashley and Emily were like, oh, we don't track. We're like, the fuck? You're a 15-star diamond. What?
They're like, yeah, we just kind of go with the flow, and then because when we hit Success Club 100, then we just say, yeah, we're gonna hit Success Club 200, but I don't ever really track, and I kind of follow up. I was like, I'm gonna punch you in the throat.
It was so annoying, but they did kind of say that they have assistants and their husbands help, so I feel like those people are maybe.
I cannot roll any
tracking
further back in my
that was one thing, because Ashley hits like. She hit like 400, 300, 200. So I was like, how do you not know who you're following up with? But they're at that point in their business where I'm sure their assistants are on it to help with that. But yeah, but other than that, I did like how Emily, she was talking about, because she's been a coach for a while, and like I had never heard of her until last year. She signed up, what, 2012.
Hit Success Club 400.
She still caught up on that. Anyways, Emily was saying like she just never had the belief that she could do it, and then finally like Ashley told her like hit 100. Like she hit 100, and then she's like, okay, next month hit 200, and like she did it. But it's crazy how like some months were like we set the bar lower. It's like, okay, I can hit 10, but no, like holy, if you can hit 10, you can really hit 20 if you try even harder. You know what I mean? And I feel like sometimes, you know, we're all diamond coaches. Sometimes we get complacent, and it's like, to make your business go to the next level, like you have to continue to challenge yourself. And like, I know we all are like self-sufficient, but you have to remember to put that on yourself too. Like, you can do this. Why, if they can do it, so can you. Like, we know how the business works. You know how to talk to people. It's just how many people are you talking to, really?
Yeah.
And I think like it's honestly like so true when you think about like obviously mindset and wanting to like shoot for, if you set 5 as your goal or 10 as your goal, you'll be lucky if you hit it, right? Like that's the reality of it. And when I started realizing that, okay, so I've never had success with someone signing up as a coach who has never done a challenge pack or never been in my challenge group. So that means I need to have more challengers coming in. I need to make that pool bigger. So that was my biggest thing. Like, okay, yeah, Success Club 50 is my goal every single month. Like SC 50 or bust, and like haul ass to make it happen, because those people are my pool. Because I've learned that it doesn't happen the other way. I've never had luck with that. Even if they do sign up, it doesn't last. So I find that challengers in my group make the best coaches. So I need to make sure that that SC number is like reflective of the amount of coaches I'm bringing in now, which is way more than it was 2 years ago, let's say, or a year ago.
Yeah, that's huge. And I was going to say, kind of picking up too, I think it was really humbling for me over Thanksgiving when I don't even know how many followers I had, 20,000 followers. My entire Instagram got deleted. I did not know I was going to get it back, and I had to start over. She's like, yes, girl. I was literally Thanksgiving dinner. I'm supposed to be thankful for stuff, and I'm in the room cussing up a storm, like pissed off at life. And I'm like, they're like, what's the big deal? I'm like, you don't understand. And I literally had to start over. And I still have it, but it has like 428 followers now, because then I had to like go and follow people again. And it was very humbling for my team to see, like, okay, she's still doing the same stuff, even though she had to start all the way over. I didn't get my Instagram back for an entire week. And in that week, I still hit Success Club, but it was still humbling for me as a leader to remember where I was. Because yes, it's so easy to hit these really high numbers that we hit as leaders when we have more followers, but it's really stinking hard to hit those numbers when I only have 400 people following me. So that was a huge takeaway for me. So then I was able to relate to them more and was like, hey, it's not about the masses when you're like in this situation where you're just starting your coaching or your coaching business. It is like the content and the connection and messaging and constantly following up. Like that was really huge for my team. And I think that's what like kind of set the stage for the rest of the year.
In the Dynasty new page, Becca Robinson posted how she wanted to show her team that she could like make another Instagram account with 0 followers and not like connect the two, not have anyone run it, and showing that she could grow it. It's really interesting. Scroll or just like search her name in that group and hopefully it pops up, because I found it to be really interesting, just starting a new page fresh and just to see, because yeah, it would be humbling. It'd be like, okay, this is what I got to do. These are the steps I'm going to do every single day to make this a reality. And it is easier when you have an assistant, but I didn't have an assistant until year 4, and making sure that it was like 6 figures per year and I had the money to invest into that. Right. So you have to be realistic, but yeah, it's super humbling. And when you said that, I saw my life flash before my eyes. Like, oh my God, what would I do if that happened? You figure it out. You're resourceful. It's not like we would toss in the towel, right? You would just be like, okay, I got to figure this out. Like, what's next? So
yeah. It was Sandy. It was like, well, Instagram was having glitches. I think some of you guys probably experienced it too. There was over end of November, there was like a bunch of glitches. And then also the company, we both use the same one. They're called Jumper Media. They were having glitches too. And like, there was a text verification and like all these things are happening, and a couple people's did get like deleted, but I think they all came back.
Yeah. So the difference between like mine and theirs, their post got deleted, my entire account got deleted. So I was sitting there and I had to take different pictures with a picture of like numbers and my name in different pictures of my house. And they were like, if your pictures don't look like match up to what we see on the account, your account will get deleted forever. So I'm literally like, felt like I was in jail taking pictures around my house to verify that it was my account. It was insane.
Scary.
I had the same thing happen to me. And when I contacted my Instagram manager, he told me that there were so many people that were fraud on Instagram and they were stealing people's accounts, that they were trying to narrow it down. So every single time I would click onto my Instagram, I had to do that text verification for like 3 weeks. I was losing my mind. And I was like, okay, this needs to quit. And then it ended up, I didn't lose my entire account, but then I ended up losing like 1,000 followers in a couple days. And then I was like, I paid for all this for nothing. Like I was all up in arms, but then it all came back once Jumper Media figured it out, thankfully. But so I know exactly how you're feeling. That was so stressful. And I didn't have as many as you, but
Yeah. sketchy. But I mean, that's the joys of running a business on social media, and that's also a reason why you should be tracking people somehow. Like, you should have their names in something. I know mine kind of disappeared for a bit, but then it came back. But I would have been like crying, but I use Teamsy, and when I use Teamsy, I put my people's Instagram's names in there. And I really didn't get serious about tracking until like this, probably like, I don't know, 6 months ago. But now when that happened, I was like, I'm glad that I started to do that. Like, it's important, and you need more than just their Instagram name, because now I'm going back and it's like, some people change their Instagram name. So you need to make sure you have their full name and their Instagram name, because sometimes it's hard to find people you're trying to follow up with.
So, question about that. Do you guys, since like the majority of our clients are coming from Instagram, do you run your business or your challenge groups on Facebook, or do you do it in your challenge tracker app?
There's still Facebook. I couldn't get into the challenge tracker. Like, it was so annoying with having to do the emails and starting new ones all the time. Like, I feel like they could have made it much more user friendly. Or
I
have a link that you could send to them, and then they can just click the link and be added. Like, that blew my mind.
And then
Yeah.
one thing, like, I do Facebook as well, but one thing that we're gonna I can't handle this right now. So one thing that I'm going to implement, or our team's going to implement, so Trina and Danny Detra kind of ran this like trial thing, and they made a challenge group on Instagram. So what it is they made a brand new Instagram page, and it's like a fitness page, and anybody who is signing up and whatever, like wanting to do this, all they do is make a separate Instagram, and then they're posting on that fitness Instagram their selfie, their lunch, their whatever, their post-workout, anything like that. And then that fitness page that they created, they're following the remainder of those fitness pages, and then everybody's following each other. So it's like they're liking individual pages, and it seems like it's a lot, but after we looked at it, it's not a whole lot. And then it's funny because those challengers, Danny has really good conversion rate because she's a lot like you, Kirsten, in the sense of like she has more success with challengers, where I have way more success with coaches. So she gets her challengers to flip to coaches, and when they're considering it, they'll be like, hey, you already do what I do because you're already posting on Instagram the same way that we would post on Instagram as coaches. So that was kind of a cool thing. We haven't ironed out all the kinks because we haven't fully implemented it like my downline and my team, but we are planning on doing that. I can always tell Jen if it works or if it's a complete blow. But I know for us, when we moved our coaching sneak peek on Instagram, it was amazing. So we have an entire page, a coaching sneak peek, and it is the most incredible resource because I literally go, hey, go check out this page. And then they're like, okay, I'm ready to sign up. You answered all my questions over there. It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, that is kind of cool, because then like you don't have to move them to another platform, right? Because that is where sometimes you lose people. If they're on Instagram, they love Instagram. They don't really want to be in your Facebook group. So if you just send them to that page, and it's cool, they have like coach spotlights, so different types of coaches on their team and different professions, common questions, and then you just send them to that page. And so if somebody's really interested, they'll scroll and they'll read all of them. So potentially do like our whole downline, so that we have like a ton of different stories and a different backgrounds and all that jazz. Might be something cool to have as a resource.
You guys can look at it on Instagram. It's under Bold and Beautiful Boss Babes, and it'll pop right up. And we just kind of put it all there, answered common questions, and most of the time we sign up a bunch of people from there. And then
That's
awesome.
And even like, I don't know if you guys do it, but you could like,
we go live.
yeah, everyone have the password, and you could like do a takeover. Hey, I'm going live on the coach info page. Come follow me on the takeover, blah, blah, blah. And that would be kind of cool too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I know we were just talking about doing a sneak peek, but maybe we should change it up and do something completely different.
When are
I
you
have to-
a sneak peek?
Pardon?
When are you planning on running a sneak peek?
We were going to do one, what'd you say, Morgan? 25th, 6th, 7th or something?
Yeah, next Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I was planning, or just picking one of those days to do like a one-day event. But I creeped that page before, your page with the bold and beautiful boss babes, and I was wondering what that was. I'm like, this is really cool, but I don't know what she uses it for. So okay, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
I think it'd be like obviously short notice to do it for next like week, but maybe that's something we consider for like February, putting it together and having it as a resource. Because I know like the webinar I made, I think I make one per year, and literally I use that webinar for the entire year, and it works like a charm. If somebody sits down and spends an hour to watch it, gets them every time. So, I mean, it would just be even handier to do it on the Instagram for them, because like you said, they're just on that platform anyways.
Yeah, always good to have multiple ways.
I hope that Beachbody eventually just kind of ups their game with that challenge tracker app too, which I'm sure they probably will. But because I do think the idea of it is really awesome, because a lot of my clients that I'm getting off of Instagram, they don't have Facebook, so they can't do that. And they're like, well, can I still do the program? I'm like, absolutely. And I'd be so happy to help you like through Messenger on Instagram, but excuse me, it's just not the same. I'm like, gosh, I wish I used the tracker app, because it would be so convenient just to put all my clients into that. But I hate it, so I don't.
I make them get Facebook. And I have one girl that she's like, oh, I hate Facebook, and she's in the Facebook group just loving it now. So make sure to try and encourage them to get it just for your group. But I know some people are stubborn.
And one thing that has been really successful for our team, and like even the people that I have that just strictly do Instagram and don't have a Facebook and refuse to open up a Facebook, is for, I don't know, 5 months now, we have a virtual gym. So my like constant challenge group is called the Born to Shine Wellness Studio, and we have a virtual gym that's open. It's a link. Everybody.
All the recipes that we're making are on my computer here. I'm just gonna have a quick shower so I can start this.
Okay, Courtney, sounds good.
And they just kind of log on and jump at any time, and then it's
oh shoot. Hold on. My mom.
She's getting phone calls.
This is okay. I have been I tried the tracker app when it came out because they're like, try this, and I was like, hate this. And this has been the first time that I fully committed to the tracker app, and the engagement is fucking wild right now. Like, girls are posting, like, I have my Facebook group open, and that's where I have like my people, like their holding place. But like, I've told all of them, like, hey, your transformation and everything that is going to happen is happening in the tracker app. And the amount of engagement that we have in the tracker app right now is wild. And I don't know what it is or why it is. And like, half of these people are past challengers from last year who didn't participate at all. And I opened the challenge tracker app like a week and a half ago, and people are still going nuts. So I don't know. I feel like some people
Sorry. Are you doing it with the Transform 20, or is it like just for whatever?
I have like 98% is Transform 20. I have 3 girls doing 80-day obsession and 2 girls doing lift 4 and 1 girl just doing 2B mindset. And they're all engaging. And like, people are sharing like raw stuff that like has never ever happened in my challenge groups before. Like, it's wild. Like, I've never had, it's like coach revelation stuff that I've never had in a challenge group before.
So I can go the other way as you, Brittany. I use the Challenge Tracker app solid for probably 2 years. I actually used my last year. I opened it. It was called the Positivity Project. I opened it for the year so that I didn't have to constantly be re-adding people or re-changing it. Put it for those 365 days. And then I just found that it slowly started to dwindle. And as I added new people, they didn't want to take the step to add the new app or to download it, and they weren't doing it. And so now I'm trying out the Facebook side of it. And it's taken a while to get its momentum underneath it. But I find, of course, telling them that the more they engage, the more easier it comes up on their page and stuff like that, and that they're seeing it as they scroll instead of having to go into the other app. I think it just is with the seasons that everything's a little bit different. I do miss my like your like file where you can pull old posts from and stuff like that. Made it really convenient to have everything there together. So it sort of goes both ways, and I'm still testing it. I've only been on Facebook for a couple months now, and I have a community that I add everybody to, and then I'm running a Transform 20 group with my coaches that are doing it separate. So we have that private accountability as well as the full community that's a private group, but those people are doing all kinds of random stuff.
Who here uses IGTV? Anyone?
I've been wanting to learn how to use it.
Yeah, it's something that I'm wanting to like do, basically a sneak peek on my Instagram. So I talk about like what I do in a day, and then I talk about who makes a good coach, and basically the same stuff we cover in a sneak peek. But I just thought that IGTV, like I remember every time something new comes out, I'm like, ugh, this feature's stupid. I'm not using this. And then a few months later, I'm like, all the top coaches are using it and it's working quite well for them. Maybe I should give this a shot. So that's another thing I was thinking of doing, is having that information available on IGTV, and then it's just stored, right? It's there. And people don't have to go to YouTube, or they don't have to go wherever. And that's what Instagram wants, right? They want to keep everything in-house so people don't have to go elsewhere, just like the music and stuff. So I think that's my next project, is to start using Instagram television, not just to talk, but just to like, if I have actual content I want to keep stored. And then the other thing was, I have a friend in Regina that does like social media management, and she takes like stock pictures for companies and stuff too, but she also like runs Instagram accounts. And anyways, we were talking today, and we meet up for coffee every now and then, but I'm going to start doing like a retainer with her. So I pay her X amount of dollars per month. We haven't quite agreed on that yet, but where we just meet up once a month for coffee or whatever. And she takes pictures of me, if it's in my home, if it's outside, if it's whatever's relevant to the business with my, Transform 20 stepper. And I just thought maybe that's like kind of one thing I could do a little differently this year, is just amp up my photography and not use the ones that Nate took of me back in New Orleans, because that's like kind of some of my favorite pictures. So actually having someone who that's what they do is a good investment. And once I know what she charges, I'll let you guys know. But just to give you an idea of like, that option exists at a lot of places. So if you have someone who takes pictures and you say, hey, like I want to put you on a monthly retainer where I pay you $80 every month, and you take like 12 really good pictures of me, send them my way, and then I can edit them, manipulate them as I want. But that way I have pictures of me on my computer with my cat, whatever. So something to think about. But she also said she's surprised that she's like, oh, how many other coaches in Regina are there? I'm like, oh, I have no clue. Like, I have no idea. I said, I only like work closely like with a select team. There could be other people, in the downline. She said, well, I'm surprised you guys like don't work together more. Like, if those of you that work from home, like that you don't get together and like, you don't see you guys having masterminds or coffee dates. And like, the girls in Florida do that all the time. They're always together. And I understand like they're close friends now, which is different. But like, yeah, that's one thing that is kind of missing from our neck of the woods, is just that like continual like sense of community and sense of togetherness. So I'm like, oh, maybe that's something I should like try working on creating in our community. I don't know what you guys have going on where you are, but I just feel like that's kind of missing in my neck of the woods.
Mm-hmm. I'd agree with that.
Yeah. And it's actually funny. I listened to Jenna Kutcher's podcast today, and I need to go back and finish it because she was interviewing a woman. Now you guys might know what this is, but basically she felt the same way, and she felt like entrepreneurship was so lonely. And like, I can totally relate with that because I've been a business owner in my small town for 8 years. There's 1,000 people who live here. There are not a lot of girls who run businesses like I do. And you really get stagnant quickly, right? And so I think what they were talking about was basically she kind of like hosts, is like the bigger picture for hosting get-togethers for boss babes and entrepreneurs and stuff like that. So I'll look into that and see exactly what her company is called.
Maybe we could like work together. I know everybody's kind of all over, but Regina would be probably the most central location to do like a once a month type thing or something for those of you in this area, just because Kirsten, you're the one that brought it up. Or we can change locations too. Like, I mean, whatever, host at your house, or maybe you guys would all want to come to Melville one time when we're in our new house or something like that.
Yeah.
Come to my house.
If you're way in the north, or you're in, Manitoba or wherever, and you're saying, hey, like I'm going to host like a coach like brainstorm sesh, and then Tracy says it's on a Saturday, and I'm like, Kate, I'm bringing the wine. It'll have to be in a few months, but I will come and make like a weekend out of it, because you don't have to wait till Super Saturday to, make a Beachbody event out of things too. And I think people are really attracted to that sense of community. And I've told my team so many times that the fact that I'm missing out on Summit twice in a row is such a hindrance to my business. Like, if you have the means, make it a reality for you, because it is huge. So I said, I got to make up for that. Like, I got to build community and show that community. And I said, and I'm not going to be on that cruise. So I got to amp up the level of community in some way, shape, or form to show my team you can do the same thing. Like, if you're in Montreal, and reach out and find coaches in your neck of the woods and build community and show people what they can be a part of.
So can you guys hear me? Yeah. I'm building a small team here in Thompson, and last weekend I did host a Super Saturday with 3 of us, and they were just thrilled to have the opportunity to listen and find out what was going on. And they are coming to Summit, and something that we're going to try to do is, like you said, not wait for a Super Saturday, but I have 3 or 4 coaches here that are wanting to advance, and getting together just gave them, even showing them how to do some stuff on Instagram that they are not sure how to do. It's hard to explain over the phone how to do different things. I YouTube a lot. That's where I've learned most of my stuff. And so I'm leaving Thompson, but what my goal is to try to build it up before I leave, so that it's running well in this town. There's, it's funny, a lot of people don't understand it. People said to me, well, what happens to Beachbody when you leave town? And I'm like, oh, it continues. Because I've had a fitness background here, they kind of are mixed up about, they think Beachbody is something that I kind of came up with. And I'm like, oh no, this is so it's kind of funny, in a small town, there's about 12,000 people here. And it is neat to get together with, we're 8 hours from Winnipeg. So we're not going to be driving for a weekend afternoon get together, which would be awesome. But I mean, if Carl Deichler's there, then we'll drive. But but anyway, we're trying to do that here, just building in our small town a little bit of that. And anyhow, but I have to run. My kids at driver's ed, and I got to pick them up. So thank you for the call, and I'll be on the next one. Thanks.
I don't think, can you hear us? Oh yeah. Yeah, we could probably wrap it up now. We're over now. But thank you guys so much for hopping on. I think this is such